Robinson family had pizza for dinner. The model below represents the amount of pizza the family ate. Oh, yes, Ezekiel.
I don't see it.
Sorry about that. The model below represents the amount of pizza the family ate. Okay, so we see how much pizza they got, and then we see how much pizza left here. What decimal represents how much pizza they ate? We can see a lot of the pieces of the pizza are gone because they've already finished eating, they already finished dinner, but there are still some pieces left. They want to know how many pieces of this pizza did they already eat. So the first thing I would want to figure out is how many pieces is this pizza cut into? I'm going to start by counting from this very top. Okay, 1 piece, 2 piece, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So both of these pizzas are cut into 10 pieces. I can see that one of the pizzas is completely gone. They ate all of that pizza. And they started to eat the second pizza, but they didn't get to finish it. How many pieces did they eat from that second pizza? They ate one whole pizza, and then how many pieces from the next one? How many pieces of the second pizza are gone that they already eat? Christopher, how many pieces of the second pizza did they eat? I can see the first whole pizza's gone, but then there's some pieces gone here. How many pieces are gone?
Mm, 13?
No, not 13, Christopher. Again, I know the first pizza is gone. How many pieces are gone from the second pizza?
3?
3 pieces. So one whole pizza and then 3 pieces from the second pizza. I need to pick a decimal that will match with that. We had one whole and 3 pieces out of the 10 pieces we had. I have 1.03, 1.3, 10.3, and 10.03. Who thinks they know what answer choice shows me how much of the pizza they ate? How much of it is gone? Jadine? How much of this pizza did they eat? What decimal would match?
1.3.
1.3. There is one whole pizza gone, and then there is 3/10 gone from the second because there's 3 pieces out of the 10 pieces that they ate. So my answer should be C. 1 and 3. A was close, but it said 3/100, and that pizza is not cut into 100 little pieces. B was also close, but instead of saying 1.3, it says 10.3. That means they would have had to eat 10 whole pizzas and then these 3 extra pieces. I don't think their family is that big to eat 10 pizzas. Answer choice D also has the 10 whole pizzas. And again, that's way too much, I think, for one family, unless it's a really big family. All right, we've seen a question like this before as well. What fraction is equivalent to the following model? 1 whole equals hundreds block. So here we have some models that are shaded in, showing us a certain fraction. And it says 1 whole equals 1/100ths block. I can see that they don't even have a whole hundreds block here. So if 1 whole is 1/100ths block, there's no way they can have 1 whole yet. They've only got parts of it. Bella, put it away for now. Let's make sure we're focused. We do see that instead of the hundredths block, they have some tens or some tenths. How many whole tenths do they have? How many whole rows of blocks do they have here? Noah, how many whole rows of blocks do they have?
Five.
Let's see, I see 1, 2, 3, 4. And then is this another whole row, Noah?
Oh, no.
No. There's only 4 whole rows. They started on another one, but how many pieces do they have, Noah? Because they don't have all 10. They only have how many?
4, I think.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they have 4 tenths. And then 4 of these little ones. What were the little pieces called? Who remembers? If my row is a tenth, what's the little squares inside the tenth? Jadine?
Ones.
Not ones. Remember, ones are when you have the whole thing, all of it together. But in
Hundreds?
decimals, you hundredths. So we have 4 tenths and 4 hundredths.
I think I know the answer.
Okay. What answer do you think it might be?
D.
Answer choice D. 4 and 4 out of 100. They told us that 1 whole is a hundreds block, the whole square. Do they have a whole square?
No. Then it's answer choice B because it doesn't have 100.
Well, the problem with D is this. If I have the big 4 next to my fraction, they're telling me that's 4 wholes. In this case, 4 whole squares that are colored in. But I don't have even 1 whole square. So I can't have the 4 next to my fraction. Christopher, what do you think? Noah, make sure we're focused. What answer choice do you think, Christopher? A, B, C, or D? Okay. Who can help him out? Ezekiel? What do you think?
Answer choice B.
Answer choice B. Like I was telling Jadine, it's got the 4 here next to my fraction. If the 4 is there and it's bigger than the fraction, that's telling me that there is 4 holes. 4 whole squares that are shaded in. I don't see the 4 whole big squares there. The 400ths blocks. I see 4 tenths. I see 4 hundredths, the little blocks. But I don't see the big ones completely colored in, not even 1. So I definitely can't have 4. For this problem, the answer choice that's correct is answer choice C. 44 out of 100. if I don't have the whole hundreds block, the big square, not even one of them, there's no way I could have 4 whole squares colored in. So this one would have to be 44 out of 100. Okay, on to the next page. Question 3. What decimal is equivalent to the fraction shown below? This problem, they just give us the fraction. 7 and 81 out of 100. And they want us to make it into a decimal. Something that would be equal. 7 and 81 out of 100. And which decimal would it be equal to? A, 7.081. B, 0.781. C, 7.81. Or D, 78.1. Taking a look at this fraction. Remember one important thing. We kind of saw an example of it here. Any number that is sitting in front of your fraction is a whole number. It means the whole thing is there. Here we have a whole number, 7. It's sitting in front of the fraction. If you have a whole number sitting in front of the fraction, that whole number needs to be in front of the decimal. Any number in front of the fraction needs to be in front of the decimal. If I know that, there are 2 answer choices I can get rid of. Because if I look in front of my decimal, it doesn't have a 7. What 2 answer choices can I get rid of because they don't have a 7 in front of the decimal? Ezekiel?
I just have a question.
Sure.
Can you please go to answer slide 4 and go down? Why isn't there 100? Cause there's like 50 and there's like 10 line.
So they tell us here in part of the question, what fraction is equivalent to the following model? Then it tells us before we see the model, 1 whole equals 1 hundredths block. So the hundreds blocks are the ones that are the big squares. That's a hundreds block. They don't show me a hundreds block. They show me parts of it. So a hundreds block is normally cut up into 100 pieces. Each row of pieces is 10. Those are the tenths. And each little square is 100th. So there's 100 of them. If I look at what they show me, they showed me 1/10, 1 whole line, 2/10, 2 whole lines, 3/10, 3 whole lines, and 4/10, 4 whole lines. They started to show me another 10th, but they don't have all the pieces. They have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 hundredths. 4/10, 4 hundredths. If they show me 4/10 and 4 hundredths, that's not the same as showing me 1 whole hundredths block. Like I said, they don't even show me one of those. If they don't even show me 1 whole hundredths block, then, sorry, I moved down a little bit too much. If they don't even show me 1 whole hundredths block, then there definitely can't be 4 whole hundredths blocks. So I can't pick answer choice A. There's not one hole, there can't be 4 holes. I can't pick answer choice B. There's not one hole, there can't be 4 holes. I can't pick answer choice D. If there's not one hole, there can't be 4 holes. The only answer choice I can pick is C. 4/10 and 4/100. If I counted every single one of these squares, again, there are 10 of them here. I'd have 10, 20, 30, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. So there's 44 pieces out of the 100 pieces that should be there.
But there's no 100 pieces.
You're right. There isn't 100 pieces because they don't show me the whole block. But I know that in the hundreds block, and they told me it was a hundreds block, that there are 100 pieces. So they didn't show me the whole block. They just showed me the parts that they have. So that's why it's answer choice C there. Because if they showed me the whole block, there would be 100 pieces to that block. But that is a good question, Ezekiel. Thank you for asking that. On question 3, if there is a number in front of the decimal, or sorry, number in front of the fraction, it needs to go in front of the decimal. There's a 7 in front of my fraction. I need to have a 7 in front of my decimal. What answer choices do not have a 7 in front of the decimal? Jaylene, what answer choices don't have a 7 in front of my decimal?
What was the question again?
What answer choices do not have a 7 in front of the decimal?
B.
Okay, is B the only one that doesn't have a 7 in front of the decimal?
Yes.
Okay, I want you to look carefully. There's one more that doesn't have a 7. I just want 7 because 7's the only thing in front of it. So I should only have a 7 in front of that decimal.
D.
Answer choice D. Answer choice D has a 7, but it's not just a 7. They put 78. And if I look in front of my fraction, my number is not 78. I'm down to 2 answer choices, A and C. They're the only ones that have 7s in front of the decimal. Now I need to look a little closer at this fraction. I know the 7's there. 7 and 81 out of 100. Yes, Jadine?
It's not C
Okay, why do you say not C?
because it says 100, and at the end it has 10, not 100.
At the end of what? At the end of the decimal?
Yes, it's supposed to be 7.081.
Okay. Jadine, how many decimal place values have we talked about this year?
Only 100?
100 different place values?
Oh no.
How many place values?
3? The ones, tens,
Not
and
3.
hundreds.
We've talked about 2. We've talked about 2 decimal place values. The place value right after the decimal is called the 10th place. Where we wrote dimes on top of it. We put 0.1. And after the tenths is the hundredths place, where we put pennies and 0.01. So this would be a 10th place. This would be a 100th place.
Oh. Okay, I see.
If I look at my fraction, 81 out of 100. Remember, the denominator, the bottom number, tells you what place value to use. If the denominator is 10, then I use a 10th. If a denominator is 100, I use the hundreds place.
Oh, okay.
Now, there are decimal place values that are even smaller than the hundredth, but it's not something that we use in 4th grade. In
So
4th
if it
grade,
can't-
once we get to the hundredths, we stop.
Oh, well, if it can't be A, it has to be C.
Answer choice C would be the correct answer.
Okay, again, why? Because it.
But remember, with decimals, it's a little bit different. As you go further and further, you're getting smaller and smaller. And a decimal place value doesn't start with the ones. It just goes to the 10th and then to the 100th. Because if it's a 1, if it's one whole, then that goes in front of the decimal. Okay. Question 4. Which decimal shows an equivalent which decimal shows an equivalent decimal to the fraction on the number line? So they gave us a number line. 0 to 1. We have 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, and then one whole. They put a point right here. 7 out of 10. So this, I'm going to go ahead and put a circle over it. You don't have to. I'm just going to do it. Fine. 7 out of 10 is the fraction that they're using. So I need a decimal that's going to match 7 out of 10. Like we saw in this last problem. The denominator tells you what place value to use. If my denominator is 10, that means I need to use the 10th place. If my denominator is 10, can I use the 100th place? Bella? What do you think, Bella? If my denominator is 10, can I use the 100th place? No, because it's only 10. So whatever answer choice I pick, I want to make sure that my answer choice is not using the 100th place. There should only be one number behind the decimal. Can I get rid of an answer choice that has more than one number behind the decimal? Are there any answer choices that use the 100th place by mistake? Do I see any answer choices that have more than one number after the decimal? Bella?
D?
Answer choice D. It only has one after the decimal, but there is one that has two. So look at your decimal and there we go. A. A has two numbers after the decimal. So I know it's not A. But that only gets rid of one answer choice. Now remember, any number in front of the decimal needs to be in front of the fraction. If I look at the fraction that they're using, I don't see any number in front of their fraction. Not a single number here. So that means I don't want a number in front of my decimal. If it's 0, that's okay, because 0 means nothing. But any number bigger than 0 should not be in front of that decimal. Can I get rid of answer choices that have something bigger than 0 in front of the decimal? Because I still have 3 answer choices to choose from, and that's too many for me. I only want to choose one. So what answer choices have a number bigger than 0 in front of the decimal? Bailey, what answer choices have something bigger than 0 in front of the decimal?
My mic doesn't want to work right now.
It's okay, I can hear you.
Okay. Could you repeat the question, please?
What answer choices have something bigger than 0 in front of the decimal?
B.
Okay, answer choice B. If I look in front of the decimal, I have 0. Is 0 bigger than 0?
No.
No. So I don't want to get rid of that one. But is there another answer choice that does have something bigger than 0 in front of the decimal?
Yes.
Which one?
C.
Answer choice C. Here's my decimal, and if I look in front of it, there's a 7. 7 is definitely bigger than 0.
It's okay if you, because my mic doesn't want to turn off.
Sure, but hang on a second. Do I see any other answer choices that have something bigger than 0 in front of the decimal?
No.
What about answer choice D? What's in front of the decimal here?
Yeah, I didn't see that. D.
Answer choice D has 70. 70 is much, much bigger than 0. So that's another one I want to get rid of. There's only one answer choice left. The correct answer is B, 0.7. They put the 7 in the 10th place because my denominator was 10. And my numerator, the number on top, was 7. Okay, question 5. Dennis bought a box of clay to create mini figures. He was able to complete 4.25. Which of the answer choices shows this as a fraction? Okay, so here is the number they want me to use. 4.25. They want me to turn that decimal into a fraction. We've talked about this on a couple of problems today. Any number in front of the decimal needs to be in front of the fraction. I'll say that again. Any number in front of the decimal needs to be in front of the fraction. Nakai, I know I've told you this before, sir, but again, you don't have to ask to use the restroom. Just tell me that you are, and then you can go, sir. In this number, did they give me anything in front of the decimal? What number do I see in front of the decimal here? Okay, hold on, Ezekiel. Let's go back to that one. I know they don't show you the whole thing, but read the question carefully. What fraction is equivalent to the following model? And it tells us 1 whole equals 1/100th block. I know they don't show you the whole model, but they tell you 1 whole equals 1/100th block. If they didn't tell me that, then you'd be absolutely right. My answer would be 4 wholes, and 4 out of 10. But, especially on math, we cannot just try to run through it, and if I see a picture, look at the picture and just do something with it. Especially in math, they love to do things like give you a picture, and then if you don't read everything, you can make mistakes. You've got to make sure that you read as well as look at the pictures. So since they tell me that 1 whole equals 1/100th block, that's why it has to be C. Because on a hundreds block, there would be 100 pieces, even though they don't show them all to me. If that little part wasn't there, you would have been absolutely right. It'd be 4 whole pieces and 4 out of 10 of the next piece. But since they wrote that, it changes the answer to answer choice C. So you've got to be careful in math. You have to make sure that you're reading everything. Especially on problems that might seem kind of easy at first, you want to make sure that you're actually taking your time, that you're not going too fast and you're reading everything carefully. Because it's very easy to make those kinds of mistakes. All right, back to question 5. Here's my decimal. What number is in front of the decimal? I have 4.25. What number is in front of the decimal? Violet, what number do I have in front of the decimal there?
You have a 4?
Okay, I have a 4. So that means that in front of my fraction, I should also have a 4. Violet, can you see any answer choices I can get rid of because they don't have a 4 in front of the fraction?
A and D.
Okay, so I'm going to get rid of A because it has 42. I'm going to get rid of D because it has 425. That leaves me with 2 answer choices left. If the number in front of the decimal, if the number in front of the decimal goes in front of the fraction, the number behind the decimal goes on top of the fraction. What number is behind the decimal? Alexa?
What was the question again?
What number do I have behind the decimal? The number is 4.25. So what number is behind the decimal?
25?
25, so 25. That means that on top of my fraction, I should have 25. Now, if I look at both of these, both of them have 25. But I do notice something different. What's different about answer choice B and C?
That B has 100 for the denominator, and C has 10 for the denominator.
Okay. Alexa, which one do you think has the correct denominator? Should it be 100 or 10?
I think 100?
Okay. 100 is absolutely the denominator we need. If I have 2 digits, 2 numbers after my decimal, that means I'm using the 10th place and I'm using the 100th place. If I'm using the 100th place, I need to have a 100 as my denominator. I can only use the tens place if there is one number, one digit after the decimal.